Hey everybody, I'm back. So we just had the developer live stream. I'm not going to cover all of that just because everyone else has already pretty much beaten that to death. I think everyone knows what's going on with it and all the changes that they're going to make. So I wanted to touch on some changes I want to see for the Necromancer. There was a question that was asked during the live stream about summons and skeletons, and why golems and skeletons are on the active bar. Why does it take up an active slot? And I think that's actually a really good question. And I feel like they kind of beat around the bush on answering that. And there's other things I want to discuss here too. But the main thing is, how can we fix this? What would be a logical way to fix this? So I think a really good fix for this is allow the skeletons to just automatically summon when you're near a corpse. So that way you don't need an actual button for it. And if you decide to sacrifice them, great, they won't auto summon anymore. The other thing too is the priest buff. Make that an active button. If you want to be able to give your minions the priest buff, let them make that your active skill. So if you look here, you have your raised skeleton ability. Well, just change that raised skeleton into priest, skeletal priest, and that'll allow you to empower them and maybe even buff that particular skill. Because all it does is come up and give a little bit of a damage increase. Why not give them a increased attack speed or something along those lines? I mean, I'm not the developer, so they can get creative with it. However, I really do feel like that the skeletons are a waste for us to have on our bar. I think that's why we're not seeing a lot of minion builds. I was coming into Season 1 planning to be a blood summoner. It's just not viable. After I've hit level 51, I've already noticed that they're virtually useless. So, of course, I could build my guy around being all minions and everything, but even then, it's not viable. And I think part of the reason is that we're taking up a slot. Now, that's kind of my fix. That's what I would try to push for if I was a developer at Blizzard. Now, when it comes to the golem, I think the golem should remain unchanged. The golem's a very powerful minion. I think the golem should stay on the bar and be an active button. So if you want your golem, you got to put it on the bar. I think that's fair, and also it has the active ability as well, where it can stun things and absorb life, etc., etc. So yeah, I feel like that the golem should remain unchanged, but the skeletons should be altered, where they're just auto summons and allow the active button to be a buff from the priest, or even have the active button be an additional skeletal type. I don't know. Make it actually, you can make the skeletal priest be an active minion on the battlefield. Of course, Blizzard would probably come up with something saying that you have to balance how many minions you have out in the field or whatever. So anyways, that's a whole different discussion. Maybe I'll touch on that later on in another video. So the other thing I wanted to mention too, kind of away from the minions now, is this beautiful malignant heart that has just really stole our hearts, stole our malignant hearts. The caged heart of the sacrilegious. This gem is incredible. It is such a wonderful quality of life, and I think that this should be implemented into the post season somehow for the Eternal Realms. Just across the board, allow us to have access to this ability. This has really changed the dynamic a whole lot through so many builds for the Necromancer, and I think this is huge. My thought is maybe not make it an aspect, but have it be a future unique. Something, we don't really have all that great of chess pieces that I can think of for the Necromancer. We have the Bone Spirit one. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Just make it a slot, maybe even a two-handed weapon. That way, it's since it's so powerful, you don't want to be able to carry an offhand with it, and so it takes up another slot on your character screen. I really think that this ability should be implemented permanently for the Necromancer in some way. So I don't know. Maybe people will disagree. Maybe it's overpowered. I mean, they can do all kinds of things with it. Maybe make the damage reduction from it much less. But this also kind of goes in the same category as the skeletons being summoned. With the skeletons taking up an action bar or an action slot rather. I don't know. I think this would be a really, really good change. So finally, this is kind of like less boring or a more boring thing to mention, but it's just more of a little thing I noticed while I was playing, and that's the increased damage for 4 seconds after picking up a blood orb. I think this is a really, really, I think it's great. Obviously, it's a great affix to have, but I would love to see it show up on our buffs down at the bottom of the screen there. I think that would be great just for us to be able to track it and know when it's active, things like that. So, yeah, that's kind of all I really wanted to discuss here for now. I just kind of thought of this video just in the last, just before I turned on the camera, so I'm kind of just improvising and made a couple little notes here. So, anyways, for maybe I'll get lucky and we'll get 3 people to watch this video. So let me know in the comments below, is there anything that you would like to see changed for the Necromancer in the future? I'm sure there's a litany of things that I didn't touch on here, obviously, and I'm sure in future videos I'll start talking more about future changes and things I want to see for the Necromancer. And also, I do want to mention too, just as a side note, I am going to cover other games. I am a World of Warcraft player. I play Warlock. Who would have thought? And I probably will be touching on Warcraft right now, but my heart and soul right now is into Diablo 4. So, I don't know. Maybe things will. I'll start expanding out. I know I want to do content on. Starfield. I really want to do some content on Starfield when that comes out. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching, and anyone that's willing to subscribe and like, that would be really, really cool. But yeah, obviously I'm not expecting this channel to blow up or anything, but it would be really cool if it did. And yeah, so that's all I want to say for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.